Hello everyone, this is Stellar Cameraman. Recently another legendary episode was released in which a lot of cool events happened, and we can say that traditionally, Dom Studio made the episode very intense and epic, so much so that there was no time to exhale. But today we'll get into everything, discuss the most legendary and long-awaited appearance of a pencil titan, which as we found out a week ago will be a woman, but despite that there were a couple of events that would be memorable and make you think about it. For example, what will be the end of the battle of the Titans against the mutant Crazy, which so far manages to resist them, although it seems to me that so he will not last long, and today I will tell you why. And no less important event happened to TV Titan because he was shot twice with the very weapon called Titan Killer, against which he somehow miraculously managed to cope with it. All of the above we will understand today, and you already now put a like, subscribe to the channel, it is also mandatory, and watch until the end to not miss anything important. The episode begins with a fight Titans, which we previously discussed in the video about exclusive leaks. Initially, the Titans are not bad to cope against a mutant, and it would seem that he has no chance to survive. But at some point, he took in the grip of a drill Titan and almost dusted his head. But when he managed to get out of the grip, the mutant took the tail, shook, and threw it at Speaker Titan. Good thing he had time to react, and the collision did not occur. Later, they began to fight with him too, but even so, this mutant Crazy was able to stay on his feet. To be honest, earlier when we discussed it, I said that it is unlikely that he would be so strong to resist against any Crazy Titans. But now everything has turned 180. If against him fought at least one Titan, then in this case there is a high probability that the mutant would have won. But we realize that against two Titans and what else can only cope with a madman. However, in fact, such a madman really exists. Will be a kin of this mutant, because if you remember I said that there is at least one more mutant Crazy number 1, given that this mutant is signed number 2. Meanwhile, the fight continues and Drill Titan decides to act from underground and grabs him by the legs and drags him towards him, while Speaker hits him in the face with his sword. But like in an Indian movie, he locks the sword in his teeth and pushes Speaker away. After that, he manages even a Drill Titan, despite that he is badly hurt. And I don't know what Drill did to his legs underground, but they are pretty well reddened. Later, the scene changes, and once again, we see the legendary fight of a scientist against a TV Titan, but this time it's much different. After all, the mad creatures again appear from nowhere, and this time they attack TV. But compared to the camera Titan, he copes much better, and each flying psycho flies away. Agree that TV Titan is very cool. As the situation with him further deteriorates, we'll talk about him again, and I'll tell you an interesting theory about him. At this time, a lady from the elite toilet squad asks on the radio if you're doing well, to which Leo replies that everything is fine and surprisingly asks a counter question, so is she really going to use a Titan killer? And she says, I'm in position, loads it and wants to fire it, but then the pencil helicopters appear and create some strange portal. But despite this, she still opens fire on TV and seemingly hits him. The scientist takes advantage of the situation like a rat and fires his laser, causing it to fly away and hit the floor. But when he was attacked by the psychos, he gathered his strength and let out almost all the energy from which everything around just caught fire. And this scientist's look is just something with something. Actually, if you remember, I said that if no one interfered with them, and didn't break into their fight, TV Titan could handle the scientist and win. But in this case, it was not only the psychos that interfered, but also the crazy weapon that almost hit him. But because it hit his core, he got a lot more energy, so even after being interfered with, he was able to destroy the psychos and even the scientist's robot. It's really crazy, and in fact TV Titan was much stronger than we imagined. While telling the scientist to get down on his knees, the robot set fire to and finally destroyed the robot. Hopefully no one was surprised that it was a robot. And in fact, the real scientist was this little creep who was part of the reason for this war. You'd think that TV had defeated the scientist and now everything would be cool. But at that time, the lady from the toilet squad loaded the crazy weapon again and shot TV and saved the little creep who yelled a lot. It's a pity that the scientist is alive again, but even more pity for a TV Titan who used so much force. Because of the hellish pain, he kneeled down, and you could think that it was his end. Because again, to expect such magic as it was last time was not worth it. But when the psycho wanted to jump on him, he immediately flew away. The same situation happened with other one-eyed psychos. And here she is, the lady of every Skibidi Toilet fan's dream. To be honest, I was waiting for her appearance more than my birthday. By the way, you have to agree that she looks really good. And even if you judge by her strength, she is not behind the other titans. It is unlikely that she will be the strongest. But still, she is high in the ranking of the strongest, even though she hasn't shown herself yet. Not in the sense that you think, but that she hasn't shown all her abilities. When the air army of toilets flew at them, she created a bunch of pencil helicopters and started doing some crazy stuff, but somehow she destroyed all the toilet helicopters in 10 seconds. You'd think that's the maximum she could do, but it wasn't. After that, she literally created a pencil rain that destroyed all the crazy toilets and more. Her power is amazing, and I'm afraid to imagine what will happen next. Meanwhile, Leo shouts to his girlfriend to use her shield and hide somewhere. But whether she managed to do that, we don't know, because then we are shown a TV Titan who is sad but happy because he is alive. Looked at Pencil Woman. I'm sure you all have already married them and think they are actually in love. It's possible, but it's not certain yet. By the way, what I'm interested in is how no Pencil hit TV because he was in a zone where they randomly hit. It's possible that Pencil Woman had this in mind too, but okay, let's not go into details. After all, now we don't know what will happen to TV or any of the other Titans. Camera Titan didn't appear in this episode at all, even though he was in a very bad situation earlier where he was attacked by those crazy toilets who decided to switch to TV Titan for some reason. I don't want to assure you, but it's likely that Camera Titan either died or was hurt so badly that he couldn't show up, because in fact, he's not far from the place where TV fought, although we shouldn't jump to conclusions, because if the movie or the show didn't show how a character died, then he didn't die. So we'll see what happens next. About Drill Titan and a speaker, I'm not even worried. They will cope, and in this I'm sure. But about TV, there are no concrete guesses. Maybe he will go to the repair or he will fight to the end, but further we are waiting for very interesting events. Soon I plan to interview Dom Studio, where I will try to ask about all of our concerns. For example, when G-Man will appear, what actually will be with the Titans and similar questions. And for today, I'll say goodbye to you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have already liked and subscribed to the channel. And if you haven't, please do so right now. It's been Stellar Cameraman. Bye-bye.